I feel like you guys really liked this style when I posted it. It kind of went like mini viral, so let's walk through it step by step. So this bride wanted like a glam wave look, but she didn't want it to be like super structured, hard looking glam waves, if that makes sense. Kind of had a hard time deciding, do I want to do a wrap twist technique like a true glam wave, or do I want to do a curl? I decided to go with a wrap twist like a glam wave. Her inspo was also a bit tighter of a curl, so I decided to use a 1 inch on these. And then after I do my twisted wrap curl, I'm going to hold it in my hand for a second, spray it a couple of times, like a couple little squirts of Got to Be Glued, and then let it just fall down after it cools a little. I'm not pinning them because I want them to fall a little more relaxed. And then after I get my whole row done of curls, I'm going to use my foiling comb because I like the way that it teases, and I'm going to take a couple curls at a time and start at the root and like fluff it up all the way down to the bottom. I'm doing both sides like away from the face because she wanted both sides curled away, so we're not doing like all one wave pattern. So a little bit of a challenge to get those like curls to meet together in the middle, but we'll get to that in a second. As I'm combing my curls through, I'm being careful not to meet them with the layer underneath because she had a really pretty layered haircut. We wanted her curls to actually like be stacked on top of the layer underneath, so we're not meshing those together. Once I start kind of leaving that occipital area and going up more towards the parietal ridge, I'm going to go ahead and add some tease, which is a little lower, I feel like, than we would typically do. But we wanted even like the bottom of her curls to fluff out and be really voluminous and not fall super flat. Of course, the layers really helped with that too, so it's like the combo of kind of low teasing plus layers equals volume. Another thing I will say about product and prep for this style, her hair was clean and dry when we started. I added a little bit of dry shampoo to add a little bit of texture, and then I am using Got to Be Glued, guys, on her hair. Now, let me just say, I just had a bride who kind of freaked out a little bit and did not want Got to Be Glued used on her hair because she thought after her trial that she could not get a brush through it. Is it easy to brush through, especially when I'm using like powder play and other products? I mean, no. Like, you need to shower and wash it out of your hair. It is water soluble, so like it's not going to be in there forever and ever, amen, but this is your wedding day. We want it to last. We want it to freeze and stay in place, if that's the kind of style you're looking for. Like, we're not doing a blowout here. So because it is like a true free spray, it's going to give me a little bit more control, kind of like creates a film around the hair so that I know it's going to stay exactly how I molded. Okay, moving on. I went all the way around the sides of the head with my tease so that when I pin later, I have something for my pins to hold on to. Also, you can kind of see because of that teasing how like after I curl it, the curl literally like sticks off of the head. That's what we want. We want that volume. And now I'm basically meshing together my gap in the back where my curls were turned different directions. And then I'm going to go ahead with my powder play, of course, add a little bit of more tease all the way up to the top of the head. She actually didn't want like a big bridal bump. She wanted it a little smoother at the top, but adding this tease is still going to give me more control and help me kind of mold this style more. So I'm basically like teasing a little bit and then smoothing it back down from the top so it's a little flatter. Also, a thing to remember about teasing, we're not going like up and down, up and down. You're just starting at mids and pushing towards the root. Go back to mids, push towards the root, back to mids, push down. Like, we aren't up and down, up and down. That way we aren't like giving bird's nest. It's a lot easier to cover up and smooth from the top layer. Sadly, of course, I didn't even notice my phone died when I did this twist, but I'm basically taking a section like to the mid top of her ear, not all the way behind, doing a twist and then sticking my bobby pins inside of the twist and pushing it against the hair, like towards her temple. So sorry if you can hear my kids in the background. Okay, so anyway, we're gonna hold that with maximum tension so that we can comb out the bottom and not pull the crown out from what we've already pinned. I feel like we all learned that the hard way. Like, you comb the bottom of the hairstyle and then you just totally screw up the top. So anyways, maximum tension, comb out the bottom, and then you can keep everything up top nice and smooth. Moving around front to the face framing, she didn't want them to be off of her forehead too much. She wanted them to be a little bit smoother, so I'm not adding as much volume as I typically would at the root, but I am fluffing them up just a little bit so they don't fall flat. Then to the very end of my style, I'm adding Paul Mitchell's Freeze and Shine Spray, which is my favorite to lock everything in. And here she is all finished, and we are gonna add her veil. And even though she didn't want like a big bump up top, that's where this teasing is gonna come in that we added into that crown area so that our veil has something to hold on to since there's no true half up, updo, etc. And then here are some pictures so you can see how it actually photographs what you're actually going to be seeing 20 years from now. I think it looks so timeless. I think that it has some structure, but it's also like really relaxed and pretty and romantic. And then here it is at the end of the night, still staying curled.